Good morning, everyone. This is the Races YouTube channel. This is Crash with you live with upcoming coverage of the Grand Prix. You guys hear me? V, are you there? Welcome Via to the channel right now.
Hello, Crash. I'm here.
Ooh.
How you doing?
I'm doing okay. It's been an interesting few weeks for me personally, but that's another matter.
I know the feeling. Don't worry.
Yeah, been weird. But
You
we'll
ready
see
for an
it.
Austrian Grand Prix, though?
I am. Looking, there's a race control note. That must be from yesterday. There were several. The stewards noted several people who hadn't gone as fast as they possibly should have, and then followed up by not not investigating them. Everyone who's in chat right now, we got Paula. I know Shay's been around. Nathan is around. Who else is here? Three that seem to be around at the moment. These are the people who have joined the channel. They are green in chat, so they're throwing a few bucks each month. I want to thank every one of those who are over in Twitch chat. That's one of the new things. We're also on Twitch at the moment. Question in chat. Did you all watch the F1 movie? Did you see the F1 movie yet, Mr. V?
Yes, I saw it on Friday, I want to say. What do you think? Well, have you seen it?
Yeah, I have seen it. I saw it on Thursday. And I enjoyed it. I highly enjoyed it. Without spoiling it, it is. If you're a hardo and you don't like Drive to Survive, you're not going to like the F1 film. Bottom line.
Yeah.
But if you're
I would
willing to
say it's
go
not.
in, if you're willing to go in with suspension of disbelief and willing to deal and put the story to the side, yeah, there's I mean it's a film of two. There's two parts to that film. There is the wonderful driving sequences, which is worth your mission to go see, and then there's the story, and the story is the controversial part of the film, unfortunately.
I thought it was fine. I think if you look at it, it's not a film about Formula One. It's just a film set in Formula One. Like, I would say things like Rush are about Formula One. They're about the history and they're really about the vibe of the sport. But this is just a very normal Hollywood film that happens to be set in Formula One. And yeah, there's some
Which
stuff that doesn't make sense, but
yeah.
like if you know the rules. But it was still good fun and it looks amazing.
Yeah, I've been saying it's really more F1 the fairy tale, and very
Yeah, kind of.
yeah. Uh, no, it's Hippo. It is worth seeing. I mean, yeah, I mean that's one of the sticking points with it's Brad Pitt, but you can put that to the side, and it's still a good film. It's still worth your admission to go see how they did the driving sequences and how they were filmed and how they show up on screen are it's exhilarating. It's just I walked out of that film beaming because it was awesome. Um, and if you guys are gonna be hung up on like, oh, Brad needs to be 40 years younger, needs to be this, needs to be, then you're not gonna enjoy the film. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. It's a summer film. You need to go in with those lower expectations, and you'll come out feeling good.
Yeah, I thought I enjoyed it. Nice day out. And it just looks fun. Just go and enjoy it. Have a drink. It's just a silly film. It's like a light-hearted film. But I thought it's like people say it's weird how old he is, but he's meant to be early 50s, right? He's like less than 10 years older than Fernando Alonso. So I don't mind that.
You can ask in chat, what are your top 5 predictions for the race today? Do you
What are
see
yours,
anyone
Crash?
charging? I am curious how Max is going to respond being in seventh. How I'm curious who's going to charge from uh, the midfield. And I'm going from Russell back. Any of those drivers, who's going to charge to the field to get up into the points or higher into the points? And the Max is the one driver in that case. Is he going to charge up?
I would say Max and Russell. Honestly, Russell has been just like on it this entire season. I'd say strong contender for second best driver this season. So I would expect kind of both of them to go forwards. It'd be interesting to see how Lawson interacts with Verstappen. Liam Lawson, the best of the 4 Red Bull drivers in terms of qualifying position,
Oh,
obviously
I
directly in
know.
front of Verstappen. You would think he would get out the way, but then again, it is Liam Lawson, so
Um, no, he'll be on the other opposite side. So Lawson's in a row ahead of Verstappen, and he'll be on the other side of
yeah,
Verstappen.
he's one place ahead of him. But after turn 1, if they hold position, then he's directly ahead for the run down into
Yeah.
turn 3. So if it was someone else, like an Isaac Hadjar, he would let Verstappen through, but not Liam Lawson. So I think that could be fun, depending on how they go through turn 1. He's got a point to prove as well. But yeah, I would expect Verstappen to finish in the top 5. He goes well around here. It's just a track that suits him. I mean, every track is a track that suits him, really.
Is there
But
anyone in the top 4 that's going to drop out?
I mean, if I had to pick a name, it would have to be Hamilton with his recent performances. But I could certainly expect like Russell and Verstappen jumping Hamilton to see Hamilton finish maybe P6, that kind of thing. I wouldn't be too surprised by that. I think it's going to be an interesting fight in the top 3 as well. Like Norris has always been strong here in Austria. His first ever podium here in 2020. And obviously since FP2, because he was out in FP1, he's been the fastest driver on track. So unless he has some kind of issues lap 1 or he does something similar to Canada, you would expect him to be able to hold on to that lead. But Leclerc's also been very good here. Piastri's has been very good all season. So I think it's going to be a nice top 3 fight. And then maybe Russell Verstappen fighting for P4, maybe for P3 if one of the ones at the front has a bad strategy. I think it's going to be nice. And it's a nice track just for battles. The kind of place you can get the same battle for 10 laps in a row.
We should see those battles more often. They're predicting a 2-stop strategy this weekend.
Should get quite a lot then.
On the pre-race show, they were talking about the stake team, the Sauber team, doing pit stop practices. That is a
But what about
brand
them?
new
Because every team
car.
obviously does them. As in they
Yeah,
were doing more than normal.
they were doing more than usual.
Okay. Interesting. I mean, well, they've got maybe the most to lose, Bortoleto in P8, and he's been quick all weekend. He was P6 in some of the practice sessions.
It was.
So he could hold on to that, Gabriel, but obviously they can mess things up. They were famous for their slow pit stops last year. They've got much better this year. But it would be a shame for him to drop out the top 10 just because of a slow pit stop. So that makes sense. They'd be practicing.
Yeah.
I wonder how they can
Think
do
about
more. They don't normally get that much time, honestly.
Yeah, I'm not really sure.
You can just run them. They normally get, so it would be maybe like half an hour before the formation lap. Like obviously before the car's locked in, and you can just roll it into the pits a few times. You just do that a few more times, but you're up in the risk of damaging a spline or something. You can do a few more.
We're now 7 minutes ago before the formation lap. Using the C3, C4, C5 compound this weekend. These are the three compounds that we typically use for the fastest. What was your take on the C6 compound?
I mean, I don't have particularly strong opinions about tires, quite honestly. Where did we use it even? I remember seeing it. I know that driver feedback was pretty negative about it. But it seemed to be quite similar to a C5. It seems like they haven't gone too extreme. I do miss the days of like, or at least the name changes, calling them ultra soft pink rims, so you can tell the difference. Yeah, it makes no difference as a viewer, personally.
Yeah, the one thing that I saw was that the tire was not holding up. That C6, like it worked well in Monaco, and that it was literally the track it was designed for. But like you brought it to somewhere else, like Imola, and it wasn't holding up over a whole lap, and so the C5 ended up being the better compound in general.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the way that Pirelli and Formula One have been going about their tire like philosophy the last, well, 15 years now. I think they try and change too much every year. I preferred it back in the day when they just tried to make fast tires.
Yeah, some of that philosophy has come over to IndyCar now, where we actually have red and white tires, a fast red and a standard white tire at this point.
It's more the philosophy in how they build them. So they specifically build them where they want them to be stable for like a set number of laps, and then they want them to drop off a cliff, so drivers have to pit. But obviously, that's not how a normal tire is. So they're intentionally designing them to be these very strange tires that have like a built-in failure. I don't know. I think it's messing around too much. I'd rather they just have like good, quick tires, and the cars can just go and race as fast as they can. I just miss the noughties. I miss F1 in the noughties.
We're sending in chat right now. I thank everyone over in Twitch right now and everyone who's on YouTube at the moment.
Why is there a fire on the
Because we
map?
had a fire. We had a fire yesterday.
Yeah, true.
The
Why is it still
the
there?
yeah. I'm still there because traditions.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. So yeah. When there's a fire on track, we put a fire emoji up.
Oh, and it just stays there for the whole weekend.
Pretty much.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that. Fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah. So yesterday during quali there was a fire. Just at the end of Q2 there was a fire on track, which is the third in the past year and 4 months.
Oh, more than a third. We had at least 4 just in Australia, I want to say. There was
Was
loads.
there? I know. Was there any? I forget if it was at Australia. The last two tracks were Japan and China.
Oh, maybe it was Japan I'm thinking of because they were like, what,
Oh yeah, no,
2 weekends
Japan was
apart?
just yeah. Japan. It was I think every practice had a fire on track during the
Yeah,
first.
exactly. We had a red flag like every
Yeah.
practice, and maybe quali as well, like we did yesterday.
Yes. Yes. I had a streak going.
Yeah, I think it was Hamilton yesterday set fire to the track. Kind of skidded through the grass on the exit of 10. I think that's just the gearbox too close to that dry grass.
It's also been very hot, 50 degrees, 45 to 50 degrees Celsius. Air temperature around 30 degrees right now. Um, humidity has actually been very low the past. So during quali and now the humidity has actually been around 35 now 33 degrees. So
It's quite a standard Central European summer. Looking forward to it. Flying out to Germany in a couple of days. Looking forward to the hot weather. It's gonna be nice. Yeah, it's a prime week to set fire to this track. So we might see one in the race if someone ends up in the grass.
oh boy, it's gonna be fun. Um, the Lollipop F1 truck confirmed that Hamlin may have set the start of the fire. Oh boy. We are about a minute away before the formation lap starts. That is. Looking right now as the techs get their stuff off the car and the blankets off. Oh, they pushed Norris back a little bit.
You got any predictions going to turn one here? Often a chaotic one.
Um, I won't be in the top four or five. The chaos will come somewhere in the mid, like after, like maybe from Albon, Isaac, Colpino, Behrman. Those three might cause chaos. Don't know what Stroll might do. He's back. That's weird. Stroll being 16th on the grid is weird. He was before in eighth in P2 and P3, and just then not forming quali was very weird to see.
Just doing challenges like in the F1 game. Seeing how many positions he can gain.
Oh, ooh,
But
Science is stalled.
science?
Car stuck in first gear. Oh, we have
Just
a yellow
melted the gearbox
flag
together in the heat.
already. Yeah. I'll see.
I think he's got about maybe 10 seconds till they have to abort this start.
He's still in his grid box.
Yeah, all right. So they're going to have to what? Bring him into the pits? Push him out of the way? It's got the handbrake on. Yes, they're going to have to bring the grid into the pit. Surely they're not going to have them all drive around him.
Yeah. Okay. So the start is being aborted as
No, they're coming to
they're
the
now
grid.
pushing.
They forgot to tell them to go into the pits.
Oh, they're not going to the pits.
So everyone's gonna have to basically crawl through the grid because there's 100 people stood either side. All right, now Carlos is going. There we go.
Now he's going. Okay.
But now they're gonna have to decide if he was assisted. Because if he got a bump start, then he's out.
It looks like the marshals did touch the car, so they may rule him out.
Yeah, they'll make a decision before we start again. They're gonna have to because like the rest of the grid's gonna have to turn their engines off. They can't have them sit there while he does an entire lap. So yeah, everyone's switching off. You can see on the radios.
Hey guys, no spoilers for the F1 movie, guys. Oh,
It's not much of a spoiler. I think it's fine.
this- Science Mr. Bean today. Why do we need to wait 10 minutes?
Because they need to recycle the engines. Got to turn them off and then you got to start them up again. Takes a couple minutes. It's just the agreed time, right? Because teams want some time to like cool the radiators down again, as if it was the first time we're starting.
Oh, his car is. Oh, his rear brakes just went up.
It didn't take long for that fire prediction to come true. You can put another
Wow.
emoji in the pit lane. It's just his rear brakes, by the looks of it.
Oh wow. Yeah, no.
He must be out. He's stops at the end of the pit lane now.
Yeah. So formation lap will start in 10 minutes. 15 local time, which is again 10 minutes from now.
Unlucky for Carlos. It's been poor month for Carlos, honestly. Had a bad time in Canada as well, getting impeded and starting right at the back of the grid. He even said himself in an interview yesterday, he's got the best race pace of anyone outside, probably the top 4 teams, like the entire midfield certainly, and that is true. But he just can't catch a break in qualifying and practice, and now this.
It's just he just can't get a break. I mean, I chalked up the beginning of the season him getting used to the Williams team and being in the
Yeah, of
Williams
course,
car,
yeah.
but now it's just I don't know. Yeah, he just hasn't been able to catch a break all season long.
Stuff like this does seem to be bad luck, just mechanically with the car.
Yeah.
Things like getting impeded in Canada is, I would say, it's bad luck, but that's partially on him as well, because everyone's out there in a busy grid.
They are still using the extinguishers on the brakes.
I guess they're keen it doesn't start up again. I feel bad for the drivers just sat in all the other cars. It must be so hot in those cockpits currently.
Yeah.
You've got an engine that's done just a formation lap, but still.
I mean,
And now you're just
part of the
like
cooling.
soaking in the heat with no wind.
Yeah.
And yeah, nothing's
I mean, that's
cooling down now. They can stick the fans in, but still. As you say, it's just a hot day. 30 degrees, tracks 50, like radiating up from below you. It'd be so hot inside those cars when you're sat still. What happened
right
to
now in the United
Carlos?
States there's a heat dome over us, and so it's around 35, 37 degrees. Um, I'm in 35, 37 degrees normal because I'm Texas, but places north of me are getting up around 37, 38, hotter than me.
That is disgusting. But I ask you a question. Do you have aircon in
Yep,
your house?
I do.
There we go.
Yeah. It gets interesting. So you get up through the Mid Atlantic. They definitely have air conditioning in their houses. You get up into New England though. So you get up past New York City, get up towards Boston. When you get up past Boston, it gets spotty whether you actually have air conditioning in your house.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, just like old England then. It's currently 28 here and I've got nothing. Just sat next to my PC sweating.
Again, right now we just had an aborted start because Carl Sainz couldn't get his car going. Um, his brakes apparently look like they were seized in place, and when he came back to the pit lane, his 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 brakes went up in flames. So he's out of the race already. He is gonna, I believe he'll be listed as a did not start.
Yes, correct.
Right now we're about 6 minutes, 6.5 minutes away before the formation lap starts.
What do you mean, Mr. V? Where are you? That's a creepy comment. But I'm just outside London currently. I'm staying with family for a few weeks. And it is hot. Yeah, science should be getting a do not start, but it can get a bit weird, like the point when it changes from a DNS to a DNF. But I do believe it's taking the lights, like being on the grid for the lights. So even a formation lap crash should be a DNS.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe it should be a DNS because he didn't take the lights.
He didn't even take the formation lap, so he should definitely be getting that.
Yeah.
Either way, bad weekend for Carlos. Down in P19 on the grid and then doesn't even take part in the race. Weekend to forget. Which is a shame because once again, probably wasn't going to be the best track for Williams. Like, their strength is still in a straight line. So we saw in qualifying, we weren't quite getting the P6 or 7 8s that we've been seeing recently from them. But he could have still been fighting maybe for a P10 with a good strategy. So, shame for him.
You know. Again, you guys are listening to the Racing Statistics channel. We are on Twitch and YouTube right now. Again, we are about 3 minutes before the second temp at the formation lap. We are going because we went around once. This race has now gone from a 71 lap race to a 70 lap race. So we've lost a lap, and that's because they are not refueling the cars.
It's still a lot of laps. I don't think anyone's going to notice.
Looking right now on F1 TV with they're showing an army of orange in the stands.
Yes, basically. Yeah. I'm watching on Sky, but it's the same feed. I'd like to go to the Austrian Grand Prix. Orange is not my colour, though, so I don't think I'll be joining in with the crowds. But it is nice to see, though, those like walls of.
I could see myself putting on an orange shirt and going into the crowd and having fun. The Orange Army seems chill. They seem to
Do
seem
they?
to be fun.
They
Yeah,
seem fun,
seem,
certainly, not chill though.
uh,
Happy to get involved. Wouldn't call it
compared to
laid back.
I wouldn't. They're chill compared to the Tifosi.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, that's the temperature check I'm up against the moment. Yeah, you are correct. Yeah, compared to the Tifosi are the one group that uh, stuns me in how crazy they are at and what they get away with.
It's all good fun, ultimately, though. If anyone here watching has never been to an F1 race and is thinking about it in the future, great atmosphere is always like. It is very friendly, and it's always just like. To say friendly banter between people wearing shirts from different teams. So it's a nice atmosphere. Ultimately, it's just like a big festival. Definitely wouldn't call it calm, though. Yeah, that looks like great fun in those stands.
Here we go. The crew is getting off the grid again.
Should be waiting, what, 20 seconds?
Yeah. I think everyone is here right now. Again, we're about a few seconds away before the second formation lap. Again, this is Grash with Mr. V here. Mr. V, which channel are you want to promote today that you've got?
Oh, I guess just Mr. V's Garage.
Yeah, okay.
Just various Formula One. I don't even know what you'd call them. Answering questions that no one asked.
And we are just starting a second formation lap. So those who are just arriving now, Carlos Sainz on the first formation lap could not get going and stalled.
And then had a little push from the marshals, then exploded in the pit lane, so he's definitely out.
Okay. They had.
And there's another one. Oh no.
No,
It's Hulkenberg in P20, but I think he was just waiting.
He was just waiting. The marshal did started to wave the flag and then stopped as Hulkenberg started moving. I was literally looking at the marshal. I was like, "Oh no, is this going again?"
That's what I saw, a little yellow flag out of the corner of my eye, but it looks all fine. Should be. Nice quick formation lap. One of the shortest laps on the track here. On the Canada, should I say. Sainz is in the pits.
We put the fire emoji on Sainz. That's hilarious. Sainz is out because his car could not get going. He got help from the marshals, got back to the pits, and then his back brakes, which apparently seized up. He said he felt like the car was braking the entire way. When he got back to the pits, those brakes went up in fire. brought him. He has been retired already before the race has begun. Is this track better for a shorter track in F1? Mr. V, what's your take on that?
As in, is this one of the good short tracks? Is that your question?
Yes.
Yeah, I like it. Like, it's a short track, but it's not slow and winding like something like Monaco. Like, it's still a very high speed track, certainly. I think that's a nice way to do it. It's still very technical. Like, it means that because in other tracks, you might drop a tenth of one corner, but then you gain that on someone else another corner. But here, you've got 10, and actually, it's more kind of like like 8 corners or 7 even.
We are racing now, and Lando gets a good jump ahead of Charles, and Oscar's going to pass Charles, and Russell's going to get ahead of Hamilton. So good start for the McLarens, good start for Russell. Russell and Hamilton are fighting.
Russell, though.
Max is on the inside, and there's an incident. Max is turned around. Max has been turned around.
Antonelli flying into turn 3, just locks up on the inside.
And they're still trying to race under the yellow. Hamilton and Russell still fighting. So Hamilton looks like he's gotten ahead of Russell. That's going to be interesting. He may have to give that back.
It depends. We're probably going to get a safety car hit.
Yep, safety car is out. It's yellow now.
So,
safety car.
Hamilton ahead of Russell, as they call it. Let's see
if
they turn to
Max
swap.
is out.
Probably Max and Antonelli out. Antonelli,
yep,
massive lockup going into 3. Dived up the inside of about 4 different cars, but hit Max.
Yeah, Antonelli's front left tire has collapsed. So that's intended how that tire is supposed to collapse in that situation. So we have a safety car again. This, huh? Well, I was right about something happening behind Russell. Did not expect it to be Max. Oh wow.
I think someone needs to check for mystery transactions into Antonelli's bank account.
So Max and Antonelli are talking as they're walking away, and Max doesn't seem pissed or angry.
I mean, it's quite a classic lap 1 instant, kind of a turn 1 instant, but up at turn 3. And that is a tough corner going uphill. On the first lap, you want to make up a place there, brake as late as you can. Antonelli kind of just looking like a rookie, braking too late and locking up.
Here is the.
So it's not exactly a surprising instant.
Max definitely got a jump on Lawson.
Yeah, Max has immediately passed Lawson off the line.
Oscar was able to
get a clean.
Yeah, Oscar got a clean.
Wait, was Oscar in?
He's second.
No, he's still in P2. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he just could not stop.
Yeah. I'm out. I get hit. Idiots. So already we're 3 laps into this race, 2 all under safety car, and we've got 3 cars out, 1 before and 2. Isaac is in the pits. Isaac took damage.
Onto mediums. So he's not trying to. I wouldn't imagine he's trying to just one stop and go long,
No.
but he's getting his first stop done early. Maybe just 2 long medium stints now.
Safety car is ending this lap, so we'll go green again on lap 4.
I'm assuming at the Red Bull Ring they have just an army of tractors parked up at turn 3 because you have to expect to crash there. So they're pretty quick at getting them cleared away. Max no longer has a chance to retain the championship. He's still got time. It's a long season.
So we're not halfway through the season yet, so
You never know.
the track is longer this year. Hey, did you hear about that story about when they did the laser tracing of the track again this year?
Of this track,
Yes, this track.
I did not. Or did they figure out they find more track?
So the inner curve, and they've gone green again. The inner curve of the track, when they did a lot of work with the white line, and by adjusting that, the curve got longer, and so the track is like 8 meters longer than it was when they last did it.
8 meters is quite impressive. Okay. No, I had no idea. I know they reprofiled some of the white lines. This makes sense. Looks like everyone mostly clean this time. Behrman going wide, but other than that, at turn 3.
Hamilton Russell fighting again. Hamilton still ahead of Russell.
George up the inside of Hamilton at turn 4. Hamilton almost getting Hamiltoned, or Alboned, you could say.
So our big winners in that chaos were Gasly and Albon. Gasly's up 4 positions. Albon's up 4. Alonso's up 1. Colapino's up 3. Behrman's up 3. Stroll's up 3. Ocon's up 3. Tsunoda's up 3. And Hulkenberg's up 4.
Lots of them at the back, though, gained one of those just by Hadjar pitting, the only person to do so. Yeah, I'd say Lawson really is the main loser, but I don't know if he touched the Antonelli Verstappen collision. It was right next to him. So he might have got a tap there, but certainly had to avoid it. Yeah, I was going to say regarding the championship battles, obviously being led by Piastri and then Norris and Verstappen in third. But there should be quite a close race, Piastri and Norris up ahead. And it's one of those tracks that tends to give us instants between the leaders. Because you can just keep fighting lap after lap. So
Right, we've got Norris and Oscar together within a DRS range, and then Leclerc and Hamilton have spread out a little bit. Russell is leading essentially a DRS chain that goes all the way back to Isaac at this point. He's now managed to get to the back of the grid.
I'd say Hamilton's leading it. Russell's only half a second behind him.
That's true, yeah. Oscar's pushing on Lando a little bit.
Piastri making Norris think at turn 4. This is going to continue. Should probably continue all race. I don't know if McLaren might opt to split their strategies a bit just to keep them away from each other. Because I do think if we have 64 laps of both McLarens fighting, they are just going to collide.
And that gap between Oscar and Leclerc has jumped even more. It's almost 2 seconds now. So they are doing 109s, and in fact, Leclerc and Hamilton are doing 110s. So they're gaining tenths on each other. Excuse me. I want to thank for the 700 likes that we have so far on YouTube, or those who are in Twitch chat. Turn 3, Colapino and Behrman noted.
That was just on the restart after the safety car. We had Behrman going wide. They went side by side through turn 3. So Lando sets the fastest lap. Technically faster than Oscar that lap, but Oscar is obviously still well with him. And that DRS does a lot around here. 3 straights in a row.
Oscar in the previous lap had set the fastest lap, so they're dueling with fastest laps right now.
You think Oscar's going to go for it as soon as possible? Or do you think he's just going to hang around behind Norris for a while?
I think he's going to hang around.
I think if I was Oscar, the best thing is just to make Norris nervous. He's obviously seen a couple of times recently where Norris has gone a little bit sloppy when it comes to wheel-to-wheel racing.
I mean, he can just stay behind Norris and get the toe, and use the slipstream to save a little bit on gas, just enough so that later on he's got something else in the tank, so he doesn't have to, again, don't have to push as hard as Lando's doing.
Potentially, but then it's the other way around in the corners. So I think on a track like this, it's pretty much balanced. Most of the time, you'd want to be in front, but so much this track is just 3 straights. But there is, if you're Oscar Piastri, you do have to overtake at some point if you want to win this race, and it's not the easiest thing to do here. So
The question is, how McLaren going to manage the pit stops?
they have to be careful not to
Yeah.
do something similar to Hungary last year, but the other way around. Because particularly this year, when it's a championship battle, that's going to be controversial if they end up doing that again.
Alex getting around Gasly for P6. Showing a replay of that. So things are starting to spread out. They've spread out. Hamilton, Russell, Albon have spread out. So now Albon's leading the DRS train from P6 down. So that could change in a moment if Gasly drops back. Oh, he's actually moving up. So we got a couple little worlds forming right here. Lando and Oscar are in their own little world at the front. They are 4.5 seconds out from Leclerc and gaining. Leclerc and Hamilton are within 2.5 seconds of each other, and then we got Russell another 2.5 seconds, and we got then Albon, who is leading the chain of everyone else at the moment, though he is advancing. Bordello very close to Gasly at the moment. And there we go. They are fighting.
Maybe side by side in turn 3 this time. Oscar's actually just completely ahead. Norris trying to go around the outside, though. Almost. Almost clipped him with his front wing. Getting a switchback. I'm calling it now. These two are going to touch at some point.
Norris is able to take control of the lead again and pull out 2/10 ahead of his teammate. Coming back in.
It's going to be similar this next lap as well.
Bierman coming in the pit right now. It's a 3.1 stop for Bierman. That's not great. Gasly and Borleau are fighting at the moment. Borleau's got the inside corner and gets ahead of Gasly for P7. Stroll just passed Colpino. No, they're fighting at the moment.
It's been a really good weekend for Bortoleto so far. Look really strong. He's obviously one of 3 drivers, I want to say, with no points. And he's had his teammate Hulkenberg doing so well in the last couple of races that
So we've got
feels like
action
that's
between
motivated
Borleau and
him on.
Gasly, and then we've got Colpino, Ocon, Stroll, who've been positions been swapping back and forth. Borleau is ahead of Gasly. Colpino is ahead of Ocon and Stroll. Stroll, it looks like he's dropped back 2 spots.
Gasly
Gasly
just says
now
no
pitting.
to that fight with Bortoleto, goes in the pits instead.
He also started on a used set of softs.
Oh, okay. It comes out with Ollie Behrman directly behind him and immediately into another fight.
And the pit window for the mediums is 18 to 24. And Gasly's gone to a set of hard tires. Be interesting. Do note that the softs that Gasly was using were 2-3 laps used already, so they were a used set of softs. So he's effectively pushed them. He did 15 laps on that tires, but those he had 3 laps already used on them. So last soft runner right now is Franco Colapino. He's done 12 laps on those soft tires.
He's in the pits as well.
He's pitting now, okay. And Albon's coming in the pits, did 13 on mediums.
So Albon, the first medium runner, doing a very early stop onto another set of mediums. So clear 2-stop for him. But I think it makes sense to go into hards here. It's so hot. The track temperature's so hot. You're going to get quite a lot out of those hards. So it should be a good tire to be on.
I suspect that either Bierman or Gasly might go to a medium tire for the end of the race. If they have a medium tire, it's either going to be whatever they have left. If they have a soft tire, they'll go to that. Otherwise, they'll go to a medium tire.
Yeah. They'll take us. I mean, there's a lot of this race to go, and we could quite easily have both these McLarens crash out in the next 2 laps. So there's a strong chance for another safety car from like any number of fights up and down the grid. So teams will just be taking it as it comes at this point.
We got a £10 donation from Paula Booth. Thank you so much for the best channel out there. Thank you for your continued support, Paula.
Yeah, McLaren's close again, going through turn 6 on the feed I'm watching.
£2 donation from Sly Legs. Go Max, go. Oh, Purple Heart. Oops. Thank you, man.
It's a shame not to have Max involved in this because
Yeah.
he would be somewhere around Russell, maybe even up fighting Hamilton at this point in time. So it's a shame for this race for him to be out, but these things happen. I'd love to know what's inside Norris's head right now. Like, I wonder if he enjoys this or if he's, having a bad time with Oscar right behind him.
That's a good question. It did feel like when Oscar was up racing Lando that was a few laps ago, and then backed off. It felt like a mind game with him.
That's what I'm thinking. I think Oscar can, hang back for 2 laps, then get up close, just push Norris in a corner. Maybe not
So
necessarily go for a full overtake, but just, it makes Norris think. It means Norris has to drive the entire time looking in his mirrors.
just the other
And
Williams. This is Albin coming into the pits.
retiring. Yeah.
Yeah, this is Albin out. They just showed a replay of Lando going into the gravel, and that kicked up enough dirt up in the air that would affect Oscar. And I don't
Mm.
know. The question is, was that a mistake, or did he do that on purpose?
I think you wouldn't go that hard into the gravel just to, disrupt someone behind you. Going to cause more damage to your own car, shred up the floor on that side. But that's the thing. That's as they're saying. If you're Oscar, you want to just make Lando nervous. You don't necessarily want to make an overtake. You want to just keep putting pressure on him. He has to think, maybe starts making mistakes, and then you can just get by easily one time if he ends up in the gravel. So that's probably Oscar's plan for now, because we're not even a quarter of the way through this thing.
And so Yugi just touched with Stroll. He got ahead of him, but there was contact between Tsunoda and Stroll at turn 3. Tsunoda, Stroll
See a
incident
little
again.
penalty for Snowder on that one.
And it's noted right now. We'll see where they go with that. Russell's being told to box. Again, a few moments ago, we just had Albin come into the pits. He has retired his car. This is a bad day for Williams. Clerk had a last lap, had his lap time deleted. So there's a track limit violation for him.
Russell actually, as he comes into the pits, really struggling against those Ferraris. Considering recent form, you'd expect him to be pretty evenly matched to them here, but he just can't keep up. Seemingly, I don't know if it's just those tires he's struggling on.
So he's on 17 laps on those mediums. So everyone, I think Alonso's the only one who's not on 17. Again, Aston Martin goes out and scrubs hard and a medium every on a practice before the race. So
Actually, as Russell came in, he had Bortoleto 3 seconds, less than 3 seconds behind him. So, good stop for Sauber, a couple quick in laps. We could see Bortoleto fighting Russell for P5, basically.
right, yeah. He had the best sector 3 that last lap. Isaac
Who
just
did, sorry?
passed Stroll. Stroll and Isaac are fighting at the moment. Ocon in the pits right now.
But also up at the front, we've got Piastri putting pressure on Norris again. Locks up into four, almost wipes him out.
Norris is being told to box. We're in 20 laps into the 70-lap race now. Again, we lost a lap because we had a formation lap abortion. Carlos Sainz did not start, so they had to do they aborted the formation lap and did a second one.
Norris comes in first of the two
He's
McLarens.
And he's going to hard tires.
I'm gonna have to wait a minute to see if Piastri is doing the same strategy, if he's coming in, a lap later, or if they're now moving them onto different strategies.
And Norris is coming out behind Hamilton. Oscar right now inheriting the lead via a pit stop at the moment. So telling Oscar what he can see, what his pace is in free air. He's indicating that he does have a flat spot on his tire.
So yeah, it makes it sound like when they say, let's see your pace, that they were going to leave him out for a bit to kind of offset his strategy of Norris. It was a slow stop for Norris. You have to wonder if Piastri is like intentionally complaining about flat spots because he just wants to pit ASAP now and go on the same strategy as Norris, if they think that's the best one.
Bartolo just did a 2.4 stop. That's not bad. This is definitely the race for Bartolo right now. He's currently in P11 after pitting. His teammate Nico Hulkenberg has not pitted yet. He is ahead of him.
Well, he's going to end up crucially behind Hadjar, Russell, and Gasly after his pit, who have pit earlier.
Yeah, we're definitely got a couple worlds building here. We've got the McLaren world of Oscar and Lando. We've got the the Ferrari world of Leclerc and Hamilton, P2, P3, but they're really P3, P4. Lawson and Alonso are in their own little world at the moment. Stroll has moved up to P7. He's moved up 9 positions. He's not pitted yet. So is Alonso. Again, Lawson, Alonso, Stroll have not pitted yet. And then we've got a good set of people who have pitted from Isaac all the way to Tsunoda.
Yeah, Stroll obviously has that over a 10-second gap to Alonso in P6. So with the pit stop, he's well behind Hadjar, Russell, Gasly, and Bortoletto.
Okay, yeah, he's in a different world to that the back marker world.
But if we do get a safety car, people like Lawson and Alonso could potentially pit and come out ahead of all of those and maintain
position.
Well, basically a fight for P5.
Yeah.
Bortoletto fighting Behrman. Behrman stopped earlier. Bortoletto flying back into P12, which is more like a P7 on aggregate.
telling Lando that Oscar's pace has picked up.
Well, they're telling that to Norris, but Oscar's pace has picked up.
Yeah.
Oh, no, sorry. No, they're right. Norris is much faster. I think they're going to pit Piastri soon. He's got a gap currently. He's going to come up between Norris and Lawson.
Comes Oscar.
What happened to Alex? Don't actually know on Albon. They just retired the car. Have to assume it's something similar to Sainz, who obviously caught fire on the formation lap.
Slow stop for Oscar, 3.4. Lando's going to take the lead on him.
Very similar then, because I think Lando also had a 3-point something stop. Slow front left. It's going to be quite a long way back.
Red flag, please. I understand that, Pez. So Clark right now inheriting the lead of the race by virtue of not having pitted yet. He's gone 24 laps on those medium tires. They're doing 111s, Hamilton, Leclerc, and Norris just did a 109.
Yeah, they're going to get caught quite quickly. A safety car now would mean at least Leclerc can come out ahead of Piastri. Oh, Leclerc pits now. It's just one of those races where you can just get one at any time. Like, we've got fights
up and down the grid.
Yeah, well, basically the entire pack from Hagile backwards is all together. So they're all nice and close, and there's battles going on in there. So we could have an incident basically any time. Also, Lawson and Alonso, they've had interactions before, so that could end up being a bit unfriendly.
It's more a question of who has Lawson not pissed off yet.
Well, it's true. He's got to get all the names on his loyalty card.
I think technically the Max fans don't hate him yet.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever had a run-in with Max. I think even Lawson is not that reckless. Like, he understands you can't crash into Verstappen when you're employed by Red Bull.
Yeah. Gasly just dropped down a position. Isaac's moved up to 8th. Russell into 7th. Norris is Hamilton is pitting. Barlow just passed Stroll. Tempers at 114. Is something up with Stroll?
But he was doing a huge long stint on those mediums. He's just coming to the pits now. So he was just like completely out of tires, basically.
Okay. It's a 3.6 stop for Stroll. We are not getting good pit stops today.
No one is. Yeah, those mechanics are just hot, I think, in the pit lane, making mistakes. So the Ferraris came out behind the mini pack of Lawson and Alonso. Leclerc's trying to get through them, which could be a struggle if Lawson's going to go long. He's trying to stay out for a while still.
So Leclerc has come out between Lawson and Alonso.
I think he came out behind them both. He's just past Alonso.
Hulkenberg just moved up to P9. Barlow up to P10. That's a tire advantage. 5 laps on mediums from Barlow and 14 laps on a hard for Gasly. There's
actually getting
Leclerc
told off.
passing. Yeah, but Leclerc just passed Lawson.
Let's see. Lawson might try something down into turn 4. No, he's not. He's too far behind.
He's not
That's
keeping up.
Leclerc clear. Now back up into P3 actual. He's going to try and just stay as close as he can to Piastri. Hamilton now has to get through those two, Alonso and Lawson. We're just seeing the Salvers swap the cars. Both of them going well, though. Both their Salvers. Hulkenberg pitted earlier, but they're both now climbing up. And if we assume that Lawson and Alonso are going to pit soon, that means we got Bortoleto and Hulkenberg basically P6 and P7, which is crazy for that team.
Isaac is pitting again.
Onto hards. So this could be him trying to go to the end now. Hamilton does not want to spend any time behind Lawson. Goes around him at turn 6.
Yeah, Behrman going wide and off the track for a little bit. Back on.
So yeah, Gasly's lost places to both the Sabers complaining, well, just generally complaining. And he is losing on time. He's already 2.5 seconds behind Hulkenberg.
Colpino just passed Yuki on track. He's trying to get the place back. They are side by side. Oh, and there goes Colpino. Yellow flag. Oh, that just took
Getting Albon. But he does do a full spin and carries on going.
Back to green. Yeah, Yuki's getting a penalty for that. He was behind Colpino. Yuki tried to go on the inside, and there just wasn't enough room. Colpino, wow, he does do a full spin. It just keeps going. Oh man,
It's a good result for him because the alternative is getting completely stuck in that gravel there. That is a big sea of gravel. If you get deep enough into it, you can't get back out. So he got quite lucky there.
Sonoda coming in for a new set of mediums. Did they do a nose change as well?
I think so.
Yeah,
he was going very slow on the way into the pits, which suggests maybe he had something touching the wheels.
Okay.
Or just no front wing. Yeah, I think he just took half the front wing off. Couldn't really see in the replay.
Hold on, guys. I know the map is buffering right now. Just give it a moment and it'll...
I thought that was just my internet.
Gentlemen, we know that there's lag. Please stop spamming chat. Guys, please refresh your streams. Haas behind Pierre. That's Ocon behind Gasly. Yeah, ex-teammates.
Yeah, I'm getting very close indeed. It is nice to see a
Lawson,
race we just got fights the entire time.
Lawson just pitted 2.2 stop. That's actually pretty good. Here comes Esteban.
Looks like he's through there at turn 3. Yeah, pretty clean.
He's separating from him as well. Second time penalty for Sedona. We are obviously for causing a collision. So he's pitted.
Oh. He's already in
pitted
last
once.
and first car to
Yeah,
get
yeah.
lapped.
Here comes Alonso to the pit in. He's the last one to do his first pit. Did 33 laps on a medium.
And a medium that was scrubbed by a lap as well.
Yeah. And then did he put on...
He's put on some hards. So he's definitely going to the end. They did half the race on medium, so he's got half the race left on some hards.
And then this is the scrubbed hards they put on.
So yeah, Alonso's going to the end, which could work well in P12 now, and he's got several cars ahead who are going to have to stop again.
That's a lock up by Behrman.
Big lock up by Behrman.
Yeah, he's trying to stalk Gasly. Oscar last lap did a 109.
Fastest lap of the race.
Lap. Yep.
Still 5 seconds behind Norris, though. Hasn't really been closing that gap much. Yeah, this is looking good for Lawson and Alonso, both of them onto hards on that start. And they've got, I mean, Gasly's just dropping back on pace, but they've got Behrman, Gasly, probably Ocon. And then maybe Hulkenberg and Bortoleto, who are going to have to stop again. Probably Hulkenberg, Bortoleto. So this could be Lawson and Alonso fighting for pretty strong points positions here.
Yeah, guys, we do understand that the map is laggy right now. It's not just YouTube; it's also on Twitch as well. So there's something we're doing the best we can to fix this situation. So please bear with us as we work on this. Guys, this is something is broken. It's been passed by Behrman now.
He is definitely struggling. Yeah, Gas is going to be well outside the points, I think. He's going to have to stop again, so...
Yeah, Sauber is 6th, 7th right now, and Haas is 8th, 9th right now. And these are legitimate places that they are in, given pit stops and whatnot. order at the moment.
It's going to be interesting how it works out with Lawson and Alonso. They're going to be very close at the end. Because certainly those two Saubers are not going to the end another 33 laps on those mediums. Well, I mean, maybe they could, but it's going to be tough for them. Taking them close to 50 laps.
Is Max's championship over now? No, I see. We wouldn't say so. It will be harder for Max, but it's not over. It's not technically over yet.
Yeah, it's going to be about what? About 70 points behind following this race. Well, maybe about 60 if Piastri does come second. Which is a long way, but it's a long season. So that only takes, two DNFs from McLaren's, and Max is right back in it. Because other than today, he is more consistent at actually finishing these races.
Right now, over the last lap, Oscar's been 3.5 tenths faster than Norris.
He is, at the moment, though, hanging around that 5 seconds behind window. He's got a while. He doesn't need to close that yet. But it is probably better
Ferrari
for
one
him.
stop. Bird in chat saying Ferrari one stop maybe. No, we don't think so. They did only 25, 26 laps on those first mediums. That would mean that they would have to go like 50 laps on those hards. I don't think they'll do that.
It's possible, though. I mean, Alonso and Lawson went 35 on mediums. It could be similar to Monza last year, where the McLarens pit from the front, assuming a two-stop, and then Ferrari just stay out, gain the track position, hold it for the win. So you have to imagine the Ferrari strategy team is remembering that. I think there is a chance for Ferrari one stop, at least with one of the cars, just to try it. I would, if I was them.
So they just sent a message to Oscar over the radio. Most of those blue flags are going mid to high 110, so there's an opportunity approaching. Interesting. And there's Lawson passing Gasly as well. And now Gasly going to the pit.
Yes, they're basically telling Piastri that Norris is getting into traffic now, which he is. Just getting onto the back of this fight between Stroll and Colapinto. And so Norris is going to get slowed down going through there. Opportunity for Piastri to get closer to Lando.
Okay, I get you now. Gasly just went on to a medium set of tires. He did 26 on hards. So I expect him to, again, he expect to be pitted again. He's also dropped back behind the leaders, so he's a lap back now.
Colapinto comes in. No, I think they'll try and take those mediums again now. Colapinto took his mediums 25, so it's not crazy for Gasly to take his for 30 now with less fuel in the car. The Colapinto pit also very good for Norris. It means one less car that he has to get through, one less back marker.
Behrman also pitted as well. He's also behind Lando as well.
So yeah, Norris getting very lucky here. The sea's just kind of parting for him. I don't think Stroll's going to be so simple, though. He's only done 14 laps on hard, so he's not pitting anytime soon.
God knows.
And yeah, Lando is getting slowed down now in dirty air, these back markers. Piastri has made a second and a half in about the last 4 laps.
Again, the current gap is 3.1 to Lando and Oscar.
It's another half a second last lap. I think Oscar was just holding, getting his tyres in a nice window for the start of this stint. 16 laps on his hards just to, cure them, get through the initial graining, and now he's pushing, it looks like. So yeah, half a second a lap now.
They're telling Stroll he's getting a blue flag for Norris now. Again, I want to apologize for our feed at the moment. We're having an issue with our upstream right now, so I apologize for the stuttering of the map and the chart. We got 29 laps to go. We're currently on lap 42 at the moment. Norris is leading this race. Oscar's second. He's only about 3 seconds back after pit stops. Leclerc and Hamilton are in their little world at the moment, though. Colapino is in between them. He's, though, a blue flag car at the moment. We have 5 cars that have been lapped. Stroll, Bierman, Gasly, Tsunoda, and Colapino.
Looks like Lando might be getting a bit disheartened now, just saying on the radio. So Oscar's faster than me everywhere. Lando just needs to look forwards, keep driving his race. Hulkenberg pitting, which is going to be his last one. Another set of mediums to the end. He's going to come out in pretty good position, probably just behind Hadjar.
Hulkenberg is coming out. He will get blue flag, so Norris is going to pass him. So he's our 6th car to be passed and lapped on in this race so far. So over the last lap, Norris did a 109.638 and Oscar did a 110.103. So he's gained a half a second on his teammate.
That was Oscar stuck behind Lance Stroll, basically. He's passed him now. Obviously, Norris was behind Hulkenberg, but only for one straight when Hulkenberg came out of the pits, just up until turn 3, so don't really slow him down at all. So Norris is getting unlucky with back markers before. Looks like that's changed a little bit now. It's going to take Oscar a lap or 2 to get past Hulkenberg. And then there's a little bit of a gap for both of them until they get to Hadjar.
And that's something they just told Norris over the radio, that Norris was like, is he faster everywhere? And they were like, no, he's typically, Oscar's been faster in the curbs, they said, but he also got traffic to deal with. So
I think part of that is just trying to manage Lando's emotional state, let's say. Say it's faster in the high speed, but the entire track is high speed, so.
that advantage has moved to 3.7 seconds for Lando.
Yeah, Oscar's still in the dirty air of Hulkenberg. He might just be hanging back a bit, charging up batteries so he can get past Hulkenberg quickly. That kind of thing. Have we seen the Ferraris at all? It's showing Charles Leclerc currently. I don't think we've seen them on camera since the first lap now. They both just... So actually, it's going to be behind Bortoleto, who you would expect to pit again. Actually, behind Hadjar, who is not going to pit again.
See how long it takes. Well, he's defending so far. Got a couple car lengths on Russell. Comes Russell on the inside. He's going around. Makes the move.
That's an easy one. He came out so close to the back of him.
And he's already separated from Isaac already.
But Russell has still got cars like Alonso Lawson and maybe even Ocon, who won't necessarily pit again and are a couple seconds up the road. So it's not guaranteed that Russell's going to get like a P5 here. It's going to be a fight for him to get the rest of these positions.
Yeah, Brutlow still has to pit.
He should pit, but there is a chance he just tries to go extra long on these mediums. He's in a position now where, like, Ocon is not faster than him.
No, he has to pit again. He started on mediums and went to mediums.
Is he not stopped twice? Starts on softs.
Did he? Just check.
Hamilton just doesn't turn around turn 3.
No, he's not. He's
just 2 mediums for Bortoleto.
Yeah, 2 mediums for Barlow.
Okay, so yeah, he is stopping again.
Yeah. Everyone from Norris all the way down to Alonso have only pitted once, and the only other exception has been Stroll. Stroll passing Behrman for 12th. Did you get it? Yeah. Behrman got ahead of Stroll again.
So the Piastri-Norris gap back up to 4.3. But we're going through another round of Norris being in the dirty air of Hadjar, Piastri on free air, which could see Norris and Piastri getting very close to each other now.
And Leclerc coming into a pit. He's going to a medium tire. 2.4 stop. That's not a bad stop.
Ferrari's been the best team in the pit stops this season.
Got 23 laps to go. Again, we're currently on lap 48 of this 70-lap race. Is everyone keeping softs for later? I don't think they'll go to soft. They'll probably go to a medium tire. I don't think they're going to softs.
I think we'll only
If
see the
it's what-
softs if we get a late safety car. Other than that, they're just going to finish on these mediums.
And Bortolello's going to a hard 2.2 stop. And then Bortolello's pit crew is high-fiving each other.
That's a good stop, like for anyone, but particularly for them.
Yeah. So that drops Bortolello back to 10th. Hamilton just did a stop 2.2 again. Yeah, Ferrari doing extremely well with pit stops. They've got the fastest pit stop this year with a 2.0. Why is Hamilton losing that? He just pitted.
It's a free pit for Hamilton. Makes sense. Ocon pits as well. So it looks like basically the whole grid is pitting again now. Go for their last round of stops. Which means we do get Lawson promoted up into P5. He has used both compounds, so can go to the end. Which could be huge for RB and Lawson. Picking up those 10 points, if he can hold that.
It's not that this race has been boring. It's just it's been a lot of strategy. It's been we needed a lot of patience. I mean, there's been action, but ultimately, it's been a game of us tense and who's going through dirty year. Not the exciting race that you would expect. And Norris is coming into box.
So for Oscar to go to the end, he's taken his hard, basically 50 laps, which is doable. It's long, but it's doable.
And as it stands, basically, Norris is coming out ahead of Leclerc.
Quite a long way. Yeah, it's a huge gap. We've got two McLarens and a big gap, two Ferraris, and then a big gap, and then the rest of the grid.
So the number to note was 21 seconds. It was a little more than 21 seconds. So we're looking at a 21. So we need there was a 5-second gap between Oscar and Norris. So that's the gap that we're looking for between. I'll take that back. Oscar's now pitting.
Makes sense.
Take a look at his pit stop. So it was a 2.0 stop for Oscar. That's going to be a gain. So Oscar's going to gain some tenths on Lando. But then he's got to deal with Gasly
He's going to
and
come
Tsunoda.
out. Yeah. Behind Colapinto.
Gasly's trying to make a move
so.
on. So they're fighting as Oscar's coming around. Gasly tries to make a move. That allows Yuki to get ahead. Oh, there's touch with Gasly. Oh, that was a collision with Gasly. Oscar's
It is
gets
Colapinto.
ahead. It's Colapinto?
But yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Piastri getting caught up in that battle. Ran onto the grass. I mean, interesting if the stewards look at that, because Colapinto's kind of in the middle of something, but when you've got, I don't know if he had blue flags, but when you've got a car coming through on you and you run them off. Be interested to see this replay.
I don't know.
No, Colapinto just squeezed Piastri to the grass.
Yeah.
There's no way that Colapinto thought he was racing a McLaren. There's no way.
Yeah. Well, he was racing with Yuki, and that's the thing that was going on, is that fight was going on as he's coming through.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is you can make the argument that like he hadn't been given the blue flag yet because Oscar just came out, and then he might have thought one of the McLarens was having a bad race, or someone who'd like just come out of the pits, but not a McLaren. So I could see a penalty for Colapinto on that one.
So Colapinto is now under investigation for that move on Oscar. As it stands right now, Yuki does still have a 10-second penalty that he's not served. Colapinto with a penalty, he will now be forced to give up the seat for Doohan. Oh, that might be the winner in chat today. Russell passing Lawson on track for 5th.
Okay, Russell's come through that pack quickly. Honestly, that is much faster than I was expecting him to. So that is just Russell into 5th now, and he should be going to the end as he is on relatively new hards.
We don't have the penalty yet, Bolty. It's under investigation. So give it a moment.
I think it should come quite quickly, though. It's quite hard to
Yeah.
defend that.
Yeah.
In terms of the battle for the front, though, it didn't slow Oscar down too much. Like before the pits, he was about 3.5 behind, and he's still 3 seconds behind Norris. So it hasn't really changed that battle for the win.
Barlow just passing Isaac for 8th. Got then Barlow chasing down Alonso.
Alonso and Lawson, who are going to be going slower on relatively old hards now. So Bortoleto has an opportunity to gain a couple more at the end of this. 13 laps to go. Oscar as well, fastest lap of the race, last lap. It's going to be trying to just close that gap to Norris as fast as he can, if he can.
Colapinto is getting that 5-second penalty for forcing Oscar off the track.
Yeah, that's not surprising.
Lonzo in DRS range. Yeah, we saw that coming. So gap right now is 0.5, and Alonso's gaining. It's the battle for 6th at the moment.
This could be interesting as well.
Hulkenberg just passed Isaac for 9th.
Yeah, Hatchard going backwards. He's on older hards, but not
28 on those hards.
I guess actually he's got the oldest tires of everyone, so fair enough. I was going to say Lawson versus Alonso. This could start to be interesting because both of these two, they're not exactly. Neither of them are going to back down from anything, but they're both on older hards. They could be getting low on grip. So if these two start getting side by side, we could get some fireworks here.
Well, that was a very clean pass. Doing a replay of Hulkenberg passing Isaac, it was a very clean pass.
Yeah. Where has that Sauber got this pace from? Like, that is not the same car that started this season.
No, they're definitely improving.
They figured out that Ferrari engine has more than 2 gears. I don't know if Hadjar's got a problem. He's just going backwards a place every lap,
Yeah,
it seems.
it could be those tires are just really falling off at this point.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe the hards just have about 25 laps to them and then they fall off. It is hot as well, so tire degradation is going to be very high. It looked like at one point Hadjar could be fighting for that P6, but I think he's safely out the points at this point.
Oscar has gone ahead of Behrman again. Blue flag scenario. Norris is coming up. His next driver he'll encounter will be Isaac.
It's, yeah, relatively long train. They're separated somewhat, but he's got Hadjar, Ocon, Hulkenberg, Bortoletto that Norris has to get through. Piastri is still closing, gap down to 2.5, which means they could meet up in the middle of this traffic in the next 5 laps.
Fastest lap for Oscar. He's the fastest first and second sector on that last lap.
And that's a significant fast lap. 107.9. He is
He's
pushing.
he's half a second faster than Norris on that last lap. Norris has to go past Isaac. There he goes.
So Norris has gone past Hadjar into 9. Which is quite nice for him. Nice place to do it, to not be in that dirty air through 9 and 10. Oscar's going to be hoping he gets through quickly as well. Gap down to 2. Because there's only 3 seconds now. Norris onto the back of Ocon. So he's just in tons of dirty air. It looks like Piastri's going to get Hadjar into 3. Yeah.
Oscar set another fastest. No, the last lap was 108.
But he was still
So another
6 tenths faster than Norris last lap.
Got me to that fact. Oscar, another fastest first sector. Another 2 tenths on Norris. So that's one thing that's going on right now. Our world right now is we've got Norris and Oscar racing. We've got Hamilton and Leclerc in their own little world. Leclerc has gone through a good amount of traffic. Hamilton's just past Stroll. He's got Snowden and Colpino ahead of him.
Yeah, but they've got a huge gap ahead, huge gap behind.
Yeah.
25 seconds from Hamilton to Russell.
I'm just saying they're in their own little world. And then Russell, Lawson, Russell's ahead of Lawson by several seconds, and then Lawson and Alonso have been relatively close to each other.
They've been together for ages, for at least half of this race now. They're on the exact same strategy, and they've just been with this exact same gap for ages. Alonso just stalking Lawson.
The only difference is I think Alonso started on scrub, soft and hards. And then we get to Borland and Hulkenberg, who are in their own little world, though. They are, after Ocon, it's going to be passed by Norris now. And then it's going to be Hulkenberg and Borletto to be the next 2 drivers to be passed by Norris.
Yeah, there's nothing to suggest that Ocon's really gaining on Hulkenberg. It does look like everyone from 3 down to 10 is basically locked in position. After Hadjar was falling down, he's now nowhere near Ocon. So Ocon looks pretty safe for a P10. Point for Haas.
Actually, Behrman might catch Isaac again. Isaac did a 112, and Behrman did a 110 lap. That's 2 seconds. Again, we've had 4 cars out of the race. Sainz did not start the race. His brakes did not disengage at the beginning of formation lap, so we aborted the first formation lap. He came into the pits and his tires went up in smoke. His back brakes went up in smoke, so he did not start the race. On lap 1, Antonelli ended up crashing into Max Verstappen. I think Isaac got a piece of that as well. But those two,
It was Lawson
Verstappen and
actually was
Antonelli.
involved.
Who else involved?
Yep. I think you just got a tap as Verstappen was spinning around.
Okay. And then ultimately, 15 laps in, Albon came into pit, and ultimately his car was retired. So those are the four cars that have been retired. Sonoda had an incident where he crashed into, it was Colapino, got a 10-second penalty, which he has served. And then Colapino was
He
there
ran
was a
Piastri off into the grass just after turn
yeah,
3.
he was racing with Sonoda. They were going hard, but Oscar came up behind them. They were blue flags, and then again, as you said, basically pushed Oscar off the. So they're telling Lando that there's a little bit of balance issue. There's a little bit of damage on the front wing. It's causing an imbalance in the car, and there's nothing that they can do about it.
Doesn't seem to be
And I
affecting him
wonder,
too much.
yeah, and I don't know if this is one of those, if that's true or if that's just noise on the radio for the other teams or his teammate, as it may be.
I think again it can just be for trying to manage, Lando's mental state. Like they don't necessarily think that Oscar's going to catch him too easily, but Norris can see Oscar getting closer behind him. So it can just be trying to calm Lando down, tell him, it's the car, it's not you, it's the car, basically. And then Lando's like, oh, okay, it's not me being bad or anything. He seems very prone to blame himself, which is, it's good after the fact to reflect on what you've done, but he seems to do that quite a lot during a race, and that can obviously get in your head, and then you're distracted while you're driving. So I think the team sometimes might just lie to him, tell him the car's been broken, that's why Oscar's faster, and it stops him from getting in a downward spiral, basically.
And we have Hulkenberg has been passed on track now, so we've got from P9 down are all off the lead lap. We've got Norris now. The next car ahead of him would be Bordello by a few seconds.
Bortoletto's keen to get to Alonso and Lawson, maybe get one of those places. He's going to get points. He's on for 4 at the moment, but it's going to be his first points for his F1 career, and he wants to get as many as possible. But he's significantly faster, like a second a lap faster than Alonso and Lawson. And only 2 seconds behind, so he wants that P6, basically.
He could get it. I mean, he's been
You definitely
looking,
can. You definitely can.
Yeah, he's been looking really good all day.
My one concern is obviously Alonso is his manager, basically. But every time they get close to each other on track, they seem to collide. So he needs to be careful that doesn't happen here. Sonoda gets blue flags to let a Sauber through. Not a great feeling if you're in a Red Bull.
Yeah, this is there goes Bordello past Sonoda under blue flags.
Which means he's only got a second and a half to Alonso ahead of him. Going to be in DRS at the end of this lap, basically. He's so much quicker. They're showing the drive for the day, Grash. Bortoletto currently winning it.
Yeah, Bordello is definitely the person I would pick for driver of the day.
I agree. I would say him or maybe Lawson.
Yeah, that would be the next person, Lawson, definitely. If we go on popularity, Lando would be third in that group for potential for driver of the day.
They're showing that Lando's currently second in the voting. But I think definitely Bortoletto, like, no questions.
Yeah,
But
just
Sauber is
on
having a bit of a resurgence, but it's still a great weekend for him. And he's
right
on the
now, it's
back of
double
Alonso.
point. It is double points for Sauber right now. Do we have a poll? We have a poll for our channel up right now on YouTube. Who's the driver today? Is it Lawson, Bordello, or Norris? And if it's someone else, tell us in chat. I'm going with Bordello, to be quite honest. Right now, he's leading 47% with 200 votes. Lawson 27, Norris 20, and then about 10%. You're picking someone else. Okay, we got 3 laps to go right now. The 2.5 at this point where they're at.
Bortoleto is now half a second behind Alonso.
So we're in a scenario where Tsunoda is about to be lapped again.
Yep, and he has been. Just over the start-finish straight. Bortoleto taking a look, doesn't try anything into 1, he's going to try it up into 3 instead. Alonso using all of his battery coming out of turn 1. Try not to get overtaken.
So Lawson has jumped about 2.5 seconds ahead of Alonso. And
It's because
yep, there you go,
Alonso's
Bordello.
defending, I think.
Yeah, well, and there he goes.
So Bortoleto
Bordello
got
on
clean up the
Bordello
inside,
on
but
the
Alonso
inside.
just took so much speed around the outside of turn 3. Will he hold it though? Coming through 4. They're going to be side by side going into 6. Yeah.
Bordello backed
Bortoleto
off a little
backs
bit.
out. You have to around the outside, particularly if it's Alonso on the inside. Like, he's putting you in the gravel. Doesn't matter whose manager is who.
Here are 2 laps to go. And we are on the final lap of this race right now. So we get the battle for 7th between Bordello and Alonso right now.
Complicated though, because Lando's coming through both of them. So
Yeah.
Bortoleto's just let Lando through. He's going to have to do the same for Oscar. But now Alonso's going to have to let Lando through. Will Bortoleto try and follow? No. Oh, God.
Is he?
She got like a sandwich.
Is Alonso trying to use Lando as leverage?
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah. He's
is.
trying to overtake himself around Lando just to stay ahead of Bortoleto. Oscar's behind all of them and obviously getting blue flags. Bortoleto almost goes into the back of Alonso into turn 4. It stays clean for now. But it does mean because Lando's got ahead of all of them that they are going to finish this lap rather than get one more. And so, 2 more corners.
And that is the Lando is going to take first, and Oscar is going to be taking second. Alonso, Bordello, Hulkenberg, Ocon are taking their checkered flag a lap down. Here comes the Ferraris. Clerk finishes out the podium. Hamilton is another 9 seconds behind. Comes Hamilton.
It's heartbreaking for Bortoleto. Like, if Lando was just a tiny bit further behind, he would have had another lap to try and fight Alonso. And he probably would have got him. Well, maybe. Yeah, really solid drive from Norris.
We're still
Loves this
waiting
track.
for Russell and Lawson to cross the line.
They're
Here comes
just crossing
Russell.
now.
Yeah, and here comes. There you go. There's Lawson. So our result is Norris, Oscar, Leclerc. That's the podium. Hamilton takes P4, Russell P5, Lawson is P6, Alonso P7, Bartolotto takes P9, and Bartolotto P8, Hulkenberg P9, and Ocon P10. Double points for Sauber today. That's a great result for that team.
And 6
Huge
points as
result.
well, which Might be moving them up actually in the team standings.
Lawson getting a big P6 today, and Alonso getting a P7. Usually we don't have to make a comment about Alonso, but he has not had a great season. So this is the first race with good luck, I would say. How long since Red Bull didn't get points on the race weekend? That's a good question. Red Bull did not get any points.
It's been a while. Well, as we were saying earlier, Max has scored points 31 races in a row. So since 2023, maybe Singapore, 23, or was it Australia last year? Max DNF'd.
Yeah, well, that will be it. The race for this weekend. It was great having you again here, V. Enjoyed working with you again.
Yeah, no worries. It's been fun. I was just going to say, looking at the team standings, that means Racing Bulls goes above Haas for P6. I think actually Aston Martin goes above Haas for P7, so Haas drops down 2 places in the team standings because of that one.
Yeah, next time we will be back on here will be July 4th. Those of you who are from the United States, will be our pre-fireworks show, I guess, on stream. Again, the next weekend is Silverstone, so yellow flag. It's weird. People are acting funny in chat. All right. Anyways, V, do you have anything else to say before we take off?
No, thank you for having me.
Yeah, definitely. Again, for everyone here at the Racing Seas channel, this has been V and Grash here for the Austrian Grand Prix. Again, Norris, Oscar, Leclerc is our podium. Sauber got double points. Lawson picked up P6 and Alonso 7th. We will see you again on Friday, 4th of July. Take care, everyone. See you soon.